Dan Illman and Mike Beer, 3 stakes races on tap at Belmont Park on Saturday. Race number 5 is at a mile on the Widener turf. It's the $100,000 English Channel Stakes for 3-year-olds. You can bet this nice Belmont card as well as next week's Breeders' Cup 2-day extravaganza with a DRF Bets account. Deposit $150 upon sign-up. Bet with $300. Bet the Breeders' Cup with DRF Bets. Learn more at drf.com/bet. Let's take a look at the field for this year's edition of the English Channel Stakes. 8 3-year-olds expected to go. Mike the Six, front run the Fed for Chad Brown. Big favorite at 6-5, coming off of a stakes victory at Saratoga. Bourbon War, who's knocked heads with some of the better 3-year-old dirt horses in the country earlier this year, 7-2 on the line. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US believes this thing could get hot early. The 3 Call Me Harry gate to wire winner sprinting last time out is stretching out for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that horse has an awful lot of speed. He's a New York bred who's been very impressive winning his first 2 starts. I do expect him to be on the front here, Dan. We'll see how the pace lines up after that. I don't know if they'll go that fast or not.
The number 1 is Power Player, and Power Player showed big speed in his first 2 starts for Jason Service. It was really nice to see him rate and finish last time out in the now-winners of one other than Allowance. They turned him back to 7 furlongs, and as they turn to the stretch, he's in the very familiar Gary and Mary West silks, pink with the black hat, down inside in the pocket, just really looking for a seam right now, and it's going to materialize for Power Player, who's going to get up to win by a driving head.
Yeah, he ran well in this race. I liked it. They settled him off the pace this time. Joel Rosario did a really good job because he was blocked, but he didn't get this horse stopped at all, and Power Player was there for him when he came clear very late in the game. I liked that win from him. I've liked this horse basically from day one, Dan. I thought he showed a lot of potential in his only start as a 2-year-old when he raced very greenly in a really good field of horses. And he's 2 for 3 for Service. And listen, he's a great price in this race. He has to improve to beat this field, but I'll be using this horse.
The 2 Chilean Charge is a little bit underrated. Yes, he's going to have to improve to win this race, but he's done some good things on the track. Runaway winner of a Pennsylvania-bred stakes race on the main. Stakes placed against a nice one in Uncle Benny sprinting. 2 starts back in the Allied Forces. And I just don't think really the trip last time out worked for him. It would have been nice to have seen him kick a little bit more, but there wasn't a lot of pace and he lost ground.
No, he did. I mean, he has at least a reasonable excuse for the last one. I, like you, wanted to see him do a little more running than that. But that trip wasn't great. He could do better.
The 3 is Call Me Harry. 2 starts at Saratoga sprinting, 2 victories, including this gate-to-wire scar on August the 23rd, where he just went right to the front. And he pretty much handled this field with no issues. These are New York breds that he's beating. He's not only facing stakes horses for the first time, but open foes. But it appears that he has a nice turn of foot once you let him go, and he's got some stamina in his pedigree.
Yeah, he really does. And he's been working really well into this race. So we'll see if all that conspires to another good effort. He's looked really good winning his first 2 starts. Obviously, things are going to be different now as he steps way up in class and stretches out in distance. But this horse can run.
We've talked about Seigewave and that he's been just a bit of a disappointment in recent starts. It looked like the sky could have been the limit after his win in the Cutler Bay, his good efforts in both the American Turf and the Pennine Ridge. The Belmont Derby, a little bit flat. You could easily make the argument that distance was too far. The Saratoga Derby, he did no running whatsoever. Maybe he needs this slightly shorter distance. I know he's going to appreciate a dip in class. I'm just not sure I can trust him, even with the expected solid pace up front.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the same page with him. I know that there's some talent in there. He's run some really nice races, but his recent form, it just leaves a lot to be desired. I guess you could just look at the fact that Mott is pressing on with him and think, you know, maybe he's going to come through with a good effort here, but he's very hard to trust right now.
Digital Footprint, the 5, claimed for $75,000 during the Belmont Spring Meet. Has hit the board 3 straight times for trainer Steve Asmussen. This is a gelding that can push the pace. He can be up close. Power Player did run him down last time out at Belmont, so he must improve.
Yeah, I mean, he really does have to improve. I didn't see his excuse last time in the Power Player race. Overall, I think he's just okay. They're taking a big shot here.
Chad Brown's handled the 6 front run the Fed with kid gloves. He's been very careful placing him in spots this year, returning him off a layoff, running him through his conditions, and then finding the Better Talk Now stakes last time out at Saratoga for his first race around 2 turns. He was able to save ground early. He's now swinging to the far outside, and he's going to run down this field. That's Bourbon War directly to his inside. This was another fast race from front run the Fed, a 98 Beyer speed figure, and I think it's safe to assume if he runs another 98, the rest of the field's running for second.
Yeah, that's 100% true. He's going to take a ton of beating if he just holds his form back-to-back 98 Beyers. He showed he can get the mile last time, and that was a 2-turn mile. So the 1 turn here at Belmont maybe even suits this horse a little better. He's just looked really good recently, Dan, and he's way the horse to beat.
Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez send out the number 7, Halliday, a horse that's won 2 out of his last 3 starts, including this race going 7 furlongs at Belmont. Not a lot of pace on. He was sitting just off of the lead of this 10-to-1 shot Quarky. He's going to take the lead in the lane, and he's kind of going to gut it out. And he did have to work. There wasn't a ton of closing going on in this race, but he has improved from a buyer's standpoint in his 3 starts this year, and I have a feeling there's still even more improvement left in the tank. He probably can sit a good trip sitting second and third. That is, if the pace isn't too blazingly fast. I think he should be in good position when the field turns into the stretch.
I agree. He has good tactical speed. I guess the question is, just how good do you think he is? I'm sort of on the fence with him, Dan. I don't love necessarily any of his races. Certainly his win last time, it was fine to see him get it done. I don't like the field that he beat. I don't care for that race all that much. I just think this is going to be way tougher for him.
Let's talk about Bourbon War. We saw him finish second to front run the Fed. That was his first start since the Belmont Stakes. It just seemed like the horse got a little bit sour during the latter 2/3 of the Triple Crown. I liked that Mark Henning gave him a break. I thought the Better Talk Now was a step in the right direction. I think there's a way you can look at the Hill Prince and make some excuses for him.
I definitely think you can. I mean, just going back and looking at the race, they basically walked and in that race in front of him, and this horse was just throttled down in last. He trailed all the way down past mid-stretch in that race, and to me, he never had a fair chance to win. Not that he ran a great race, but I just don't see how he was supposed to win with that trip. I thought his Better Talk Now was actually good, and he's the kind of horse who, as good as he was and as promising as he was on dirt, I think that was always in the back of your mind that this horse might be better once they switch surfaces with him, and he kind of showed that in the Better Talk Now. I thought he ran a good race there. If he can get back to something like that, he could even give the good front run the Fed another tough race again.
Lots of turf in this female family, no doubt about it, and promising enough, as you mentioned. He was beaten less than a length by Code of Honor in the Fountain of Youth earlier this year. Top pick time for the English Channel. It's hard to be way against front run the Fed. I'm not sure I want to take him at 4 to 5 in here. I'm going to take Halliday, the 7. I think there's some upside potential here. I think he can get the jump on the true closers coming into this race. I'm not that concerned about the mile. I think it's within his scope. The price should be right for Halliday. I went 7-6-1-3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not way against front run the Fed in this race. He's going to take a ton of beating. I will take a small shot with Bourbon War, assuming he's a fair price, because he actually gave that horse a pretty good race in the Better Talk Now. Maybe he can rebound. So I went 8-6-1.
Race 5 at Belmont on Saturday. One of 3 stakes races, the English Channel. Bet them all with a DRF Bets account. Deposit $150 and be set for the Breeders' Cup. You'll be able to bet with $300. Approximate post time for the English Channel, 2:59 Eastern. Good luck.